I'll be back. Yeti ice, and it tells you space-saving cold holder for soft coolers. We have a soft cooler, and here's a smaller Yeti ice pack. The remaining bag of ice, which we'll explain here in a second. All right, everybody, how's it going? This bag is only about half full. Let me seal it up. All right, let's back it out and do a little talking here real quick. If you watch the channel, you know last year, the YETI ROADIE 15, I did a couple ice retention tests on it. I compared it to the other ice chest I have, coolers I should say, in the garage. You can go back and watch those videos. I've had the ROADIE 15 for about almost 11 months now. Been an excellent cooler. It stays in the back of the truck. Drug it out. Now, just for reference, and where's my manners at? Welcome back to the channel. It is, let's do a little time check as you know we always do, then we'll get back focused on these little coolers here. It is Memorial Day, the 26th of May. It is 2:45, we're going to call it, at 70 degrees. So, happy Memorial Day. Hope you all have a day off. And most importantly, remember what today's for our past and current service members, our veterans, that God bless them, that gives us the opportunity to do silly stuff like see how long ice will last in a cooler. God bless them, and I do hope you're having a wonderful day. So here we go. You can see I filled the cooler up. Once again, what I was saying earlier, if you watch the channel, you'll know last year I did several different tests with this cooler. So basically all this is going to be is, and I had ice left. Those bags of ice are 8 pounds. They're 8 pounds each. And I just had my tripod propped up on that box there. We're being real professional here. Just for note and reference, YETI says on the ROADIE 15, if there's nothing in the cooler, and there wasn't and there isn't, it'll hold 16 pounds of ice. That ice I purchased at the store, drove home, took about 12 minutes. So the ice set in the truck 12 minutes. It was not straight from the freezer at the grocery store to the cooler. There was about a 12-minute lapse, but who's counting? This test is just to see just how long the ice will last. In other words, a lot of times if I'm going out on an extended excursion, I use my large Yeti, my Tundra 65. This would be an example of a backup cooler to just see how long it lasts. And then if I had products such as milk, eggs, soft drinks, water bottles in my other cooler, and you're always opening it up, digging in it, opening it up, digging in it, this is going to represent my backup to dump this into that if I'm way out in the middle of nowhere and I just need a little extra backup because my other cooler is getting used a lot. I just want to see how long the ice lasts. The test I did last year that you can go back and watch, once again, I'm opening up the cooler, I'm digging my hand all down in there, getting product out. This time, just how long will it hold ice? I had ice left over. Getting back to YETI, YETI says the Tundra 15 will hold 16 pounds of ice. My little example just said it would not. I'm guessing that was 12 pounds of ice, completely empty. Since I had ice left over, I just ran back in the garage. You can see it's dirty, just this little Dart cooler. I used the YETI ice packs. It's supposed to be for a soft cooler, which this is. Got that at the Goodwill. Heck, it's still got the tag on it. The tape, $2. Got this at the Goodwill for $2. So That is maybe half full of ice, so that's just a side reference test with the Yeti ice pack. So I'm going to quit rambling. I will check the cooler. It's supposed to have, and you can see it's cloudy. Oh, we got to say hi to Nipsey. The soft cooler, I will probably just leave in the garage on the golf cart. That's not the main focus. The hard cooler, the Yeti 15, I'm going to put it under the tree just like I did last year. We're supposed to get a lot of rain, so it's not going to hurt the hard cooler. It really wouldn't hurt that, but it would absorb some rain. So we're going to check on her every few hours just to see how it's going. Once again, we called it 245 on the 26th of May, 70 degrees. It's a kind of cool Memorial Day, so we'll be back to check on the cooler. I'm going to put it out under the tree and see how it does. It needs kind of a good cleaning anyways. We'll check back in with y'all here in a little bit. All right, we are back out here for our first official check. It is 10:48. Last check was at 2:45. So we're gonna call this 10:45, which means we're at 8 hours. Couple things, these little coolers, and this is the main focus, that was just extra ice. These were not pre-chilled, okay? So it's been 8 hours, and I believe I called that a Tundra a while ago. Obviously, there's your Tundra on the bottom. Second thing, then we'll get right to the ice test. It has been pouring rain. It's still wet out here, and we've got Nipsey. You can see her sitting out there, and somehow I ended up with kittens. So if anybody needs kittens, I guess I'm taking care of kittens now. The tree. I told you I was going to set the cooler out by the tree. Last summer, almost a year ago, I would set the coolers out about 10 yards on the other side of the tree, because that represented if you were actually using it, camping per se. That tree, when I set the coolers out there, and you can go back and watch those videos once again, basically what it did, it would get direct sunlight, 90 degrees, and then certain times of the day would be in the shade. So that they're in here because it's a consistent temperature. It's cloudy and rainy all the time, so there is no sun, unfortunately. So I just brought them in here. That way we have a consistent temperature. Doesn't matter whether it's under the tree or in here. So we'll just check this after 8 hours. This was about half full. Not really expecting any ice to be in here. It's not super hot. Okay. The ice is packed. That's about where it was, about half full. Hold on, we're gonna close this. Doing this one-handed with my little tripod. Okay, then we'll check the Yeti. I'm anticipating it being full. And then, like I said, once again, it's not outside under the tree. Not really worried about the rain. It's just that it's cloudy all day. There is no sun. There is no 90 degree. It's consistently staying. We're at 63. It was 70 earlier. So might as well keep it here where I stay dry. And the Yeti, of course, packed. So we're going to come back and check it. We'll check both the coolers. And there's some of the other coolers I did all the tests on last summer you can go look at. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised about the soft cooler, because if you did use this, and I'll shut up, you wouldn't have this in the sun. This is something you'd keep in your car for a trip. So the little ice packs are keeping this cold. Okay, we'll check back in with you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. Let's just jump right into this. We're coming up on 9:45 a.m. You can see it's 65 degrees on the 27th. So we're rolling in at 19 hours. And the reason why the coolers are in here is explained last night. It's still cloudy. Hasn't rained in a minute, but it's going to. So let's do a quick check on the coolers. Really surprised with this little rig. Kind of unzip it here. And there's still an ice pack in there. Well, we'll wait and I'll zip that up when we get done. And we'll check on the old Yeti. and it is still full. So we will do a check-in at 2:45 just to make it officially 24 hours. See what's going on. If the sun does come out, I'll set them outside there, but we're supposed to have rain and rain and rain again today. So we'll be back to check here at the 24-hour mark. See ya. All right, we are here. It is 10:50. We're going to call it 10:45, which would bring us to the 32-hour mark. See what we got going on. The rain has finally stopped for now. I can feel the coldness coming out of this little bag. And get the little flashlight going here. After 32 hours, yeah, we're getting down to the ice packs. So I don't anticipate, I'll close that up here in a minute. I bet that'll be gone, but still, hey, 32 hours, can't complain. Now for the Yeti. Still doing good, 32 hours. We'll be back tomorrow to check them. All right, I'm gonna do a little check-in. We're gonna call it 9:45, 66 degrees. So we're at 43 hours. Getting close to 2 days. I doubt there's any ice in this. I can feel coldness coming out when I open this up, but nope, ice is gone. And still that's not very cool. So that little project's done. But hey, I'm still impressed at what we got going on there for what it is. Now let's check 43-hour mark on the Yeti. Still clocking in pretty good. Now, just for reference, I don't know if I'm going to let this go completely out of ice because, go back to the Yeti, because the whole purpose of this little experiment is to use this for backup ice for the larger Yeti or one of the larger coolers. It would probably be the Yeti, of course, if I'm going for extended stays. But we still got enough ice in there for right now, so we'll come back and check it later on today. See you in a bit. Just a quick note. When I picked this up, I don't know if you can see it dripping. Quite a bit of condensation and water there. I guess because obviously I didn't keep the water drained, and this obviously isn't waterproof. So just be cautious if you get a soft cooler, at least this one, because once the water's gone, if you do have it in a vehicle, you're going to have water in there. Just a quick note to where obviously the Yeti's not going to leak because it's a hard cooler. None of them should leak either. All right. Okay. We're going to call it 9:45, 68 degrees. Temperature's been staying about the same as we've been discussing this whole video. With that being said, that brings us up to 53 hours. Last time I checked it was at 9:45 this morning. So it's been 12 hours since this morning. Grand total of 53. Of course, 2 days would be 48 hours. So we've surpassed that. One last thing about the little cooler I had sitting over here, the Yeti ice packs. Just so you know, those are basically, I guess it helps retain ice, but really what those are for is to throw in a soft cooler such as we had sitting there and throw your lunch on top of it, right? Take it to work, get it back home at night, put them in the freezer, you're good to go the next day. So let's take a look and see where we're at the 53-hour mark. Okay, it's fallen some. Still a big chunk of ice though. This is still more than acceptable if I were out and I needed a backup, just in case I had perishables to, we'll back it out, to dump into a bigger cooler. And many of you may be thinking, well, that'll hold more ice, so that will probably still have ice. Here's the thing, I think I may have said this earlier, when you do have your main cooler that's got eggs, milk, soda, canned products, bottled products, you're constantly opening and closing, open and closing. And I know like at deer camp, there may be 5 or 6 of us, open, close, open, close. So That's why we're keeping this closed. That's why this one's staying closed, for the simple fact of hold that ice as long as we can. So after 2 days, over 2 days, if that was getting low, we could dump this in for a little recharge. So anyways, we'll come back and check it in the morning and see how we're doing. Thank y'all. All right, everybody, here we go. It is the 29th of May. It is about 2:56. We started this on the 26th of May at 2:45. So we're officially over 3 days. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, there's still a lot of water, a lot of ice water, you can see, but there's a big chunk of ice left. So here's what we're going to do. I was going to end this now because that's a big enough chunk of ice. If I need to add it, if we were out camping or whatnot, that would be enough ice to add to keep things cold. But here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to let that roll just to see how long it'll last. There's another round of rain coming in tonight. Chance for thunderstorms, a little bit of severe weather. Next week, we're going to do another test, set the cooler out there. It's supposed to be in the mid to upper 80s. It's going to be hot, sunny. A lot, you know, the current temperature now is 77, so we're getting a little warmer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to I've got coolers back there. We're going to pick this cooler. This is probably my cheapest cooler. And you can get a Coleman party stacker even in today's time for, I don't know, 20 bucks. Probably. I don't know. Because I understand not everybody wants to spend $200 on a little cooler, right? I like it. You can see it holds ice well. So what we're going to do is get this test done. We'll come back and check it tomorrow, see how the ice is doing. We are at 3 days. And then next week when it's actually going to be close to 90, and you can hear got a little bird nest action going on. What we're going to do is next week when we have hotter weather, sunny, high in the upper 80s, compare a $200 cooler. That little Coleman is the cheapest cooler I got. I'll do a pre-chill. We'll do it right, set it outside, see how it does. Okay? We'll check back in tomorrow and see how the ice is doing. Good afternoon, YouTube. Well, actually, I should say good morning. You can see it's getting close to noon. It's about 8 till 12 on the 30th of May. There's old Nipsey. We finally had some sunshine. This will be the last segment because I've got some other things we're going to be doing. You can see it is finally sunny. It's currently 70 degrees, but the next few days it's going to be getting into the upper 80s. So here's what we're going to do. Last check on the ice. I haven't checked it since yesterday. 2:45 p.m. would be officially 4 days. We started this on the 26th. So let's just take a quick look here. 4 days. Oh yeah. There is still, I just broke it up. There was a little block of ice in there, but you can see still plenty of ice cold water. So here's what we're going to do. Pop that off. As I said in the last segment before this, ice has lasted 4 days. It's been in the garage, as you've seen, because it's been rainy and cloudy, all that good stuff, as I've already talked about. So what we're going to do next, as I said, the YETI. And I looked online. I couldn't find the original Coleman party stacker, but the next video I'm going to put out, this would probably be the cheapest cooler that I have. And we're going to see, do you want to spend 200 bucks on a YETI? Or I believe this, well, I can tell you, and we'll cover this in the next video. If you can see the 5 right there, this is a Goodwill find. $5, but if you would have purchased this years ago, it would have been 20 bucks or less. So we'll do a video on that. We'll put some ice in it, and I'll cover all that in the next video. But yeah, you saw it, 4 days. We'll put her to the real test when the temperature gets up here in the next week. So stay tuned for that. In about 4 or 5 days, we'll see how long the ice lasts compared to that. Thank you all for sticking around this long. Hope you enjoyed the video, and this will help you determine whether you want to get you a YETI ROADIE 15. I am absolutely thrilled with it. So anyways, stay tuned for that next one. We're going to check and see how the cheap cooler compares to the expensive cooler. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for checking in with Jeep and Thanks. I sure appreciate your support. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I got some videos coming out on the old Ford Ranger. I've had videos on this, so you never know what you're going to see. Y'all have a good day.